Hey everybody, Spectacular, the Silverstacular is here with some pawn shop wins today. That's right, I went to pawn shops to get silver. I'm going to show you all I got right here is actually a whole day of going to pawn shops for just this itty bitty little bit of silver. Let me show you what I got and tell the story right now. Well, hello everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silverstacular. So, went to the very first pawn shop. Haven't been there in years, actually. I was like, you know what? Let's go back. Let's see what they got. Walked in the door, said, hey, got any silver? Yeah, all of our silver is $6 over the spot price. And I said, oh, geez, let me see what you got. Maybe there's something in there I can flip. Not telling them that, but that's what I'm looking for. Things that might be something that's more collectible value rather than just, you know, silver is silver kind of value. So, no, there was none of that stuff. It was all really basic stuff. They had buffalo rounds, really basic things. And for $6 over, and I said, nah, I'm going to have to pass. And the reason why I'm passing is because I can even go online and get that stuff simply just by just typing in a few little, you know, websites. No problem, I can get that stuff. So I was not apt to go out there and get that stuff at that time for just plain rounds. Nothing special, like I said. So then I asked about the junk silver. I said, you got any junk silver? What is that? She said. And I said, you know, the quarters, dimes, half dollars, oh, yeah. We got some of the half dollars in. I said, oh, I'd like to see those. And I said, you know, what are you charging for that right now? Thinking it's going to be crazy high because the silver rounds were high. I figured these were going to be high too. And she goes, I think they're like $19.25 per dollar. And she like was really questioning herself. And she goes, yeah, well, hold on, wait, yeah. And like my emotions it's a roller coaster right now because I'm like, geez, that's a decent deal right now. Like just go ahead and say yes, that's what it is, and I'll take them. But then she finally said, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 1925. Got her calculator out, was sitting there pushing buttons like for a while, right? Oh, wait, that can't be right. Clear, do it again, clear, do it again. And I'm like, oh, well, I said, well, how much do you have there? And she goes, $10, $10 face value of half dollars. And I said, well, if you have $10 face value of half dollars and you're saying it's 19.25 per dollar, so then that means that I owe you $192.50. And she goes, hold on a minute. Gets the calculator out, 1925 times 10. She goes, yeah, you're right. I promise you all, she cleared it out, did it one more time. She must have been on that calculator 9 times, no joke, typing those numbers in, trying to make sure that they added up the right way. Hey, it added up the right way. I got my $200 out, gave it to her, got $7.50 back and change. I don't think I've ever had such a weird number before when it came to junk silver. I've never paid $19.25 face, or I don't think I've ever paid something, an X dollar amount and then 25 cents face. I don't think I've ever done that. But today, I was willing to do it. Walked out of there, was texting a few different shops saying, hey, listen to what I'm paying at pawn shops right now. And they're like, wow, that's better than what we're buying it for right now. No joke. So I felt like a winner. Felt like I did pretty well on those things. You go online with some of the dealers for junk silver, and they're asking like $26 to $28 per dollar face value. Sometimes it's even more. It's getting crazy out there with the junk silver. For some reason, halves they end up charging more for. I don't understand it. It must be a supply-demand thing. I don't know. But I won today out of a pawn shop. Then I went to another pawn shop, and he had some really weird things there. And this is just story time right now, but he had almost like somebody had poured this thing. Like it's a really flat bar with a hole drilled in it. So they must have been trying to make sure it was legit. And it had no markings on it whatsoever. And they were calling it scrap silver. And it's just a big bar. So I don't know if their scrap silver guy melted that out and they bought it from them and didn't mark anything on there. But other than it being kind of interesting, I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's not cool enough for me. Like I'm gonna have to pass on that. It's kind of just unusual, right? So passed on that. I asked them if they had any, half dollars, quarters, dimes, and the guy that was there seemed really unfamiliar with silver, really. And he goes, no, he goes, usually what happens, we don't sell that stuff in bulk. The owner just kind of like puts that stuff out like one piece at a time, and he sells them that way because he can make more money. He said that. That's the guy. And I'm like, okay, well, nothing I'm really looking for today. I had to go. So left there, took a quick glance at the old pew pews that were over in the corner. You know what I'm talking about? Pew pews, Second Amendment. You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, did that, left there, called another shop, said, hey, I'm looking for silver. That's all I said, looking for silver. He goes, nope, don't have any silver in whatsoever. It's all been taken up. I'm like, okay, cool. As I was like gonna give up, I ended up passing another shop, and this is a new shop now. If anybody's familiar with US 19 over in Florida on the West Coast, there's pawn shops all over the place, either on US 19 or just off of US 19. Pawn shops everywhere. I mean, for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. So, I have plenty of options when it comes to, this stuff right here. But this is a new pawn shop. A lot of pawn shops are actually closing down around there. I don't know what was happening. I heard that some shadiness was going on with a few of the shops. They had to close them down. I don't know that for a fact. That's what I've heard. Anyways, I go to a new pawn shop. Guy was super nice. Had some Morgans. And I said, hey, let me see what those. He's like, oh, you can pick them up. He's like, look at the back. That's kind of the pricing on them. And he had like real scratched up Morgans and kind of nasty. He's like, yeah, I took them to a coin shop down somewhere in Tampa, and they kind of evaluated them, and based on their recommendations, I put those prices on them. He says he goes, they looked into the gray book, is what he said. So I'm looking at them, and there's, like I said, scratched up Morgans for like $65, $90 a piece. And I was like, wow, that's, pretty intense there. It's a pretty good price. I can't really come close to that. I looked at one, and they had wrote on there pitted, right? And you don't write that on. If you're trying to sell one of these things, you really don't write it on there as a pawn shop, right? But he had it on there, and I was like, I'm gonna have to pass on your $90 pitted, very common date Morgan dollar. Like, no offense, but gonna pass. And then he had 4 dimes. He had like one of the little plastic coin flips. I have one right here, like a plastic coin flip like this. 4 dimes, right? Just Roosevelt dimes, nothing fancy. And he goes, well, what are you looking for? And I said, well, it's more stuff like that. I said, your dimes. I said, but 4 dimes really doesn't cut it for me. It's really nothing for me. And as I flipped these 4 dimes over, no joke, ladies and gentlemen, it said $30 on the ticket. That's what he wanted for those 4 dimes, $30. And he's like, well, I got these right here. You can take those. And I said, yeah, $30 on those, man. I said, no offense. I said, I'm looking for more than that. And I said, and $30 is a little bit more than I want to pay for 4 dimes. And he goes, well, you know what? Make me an offer. And I told him, this is me basically just walking away. I said, listen, that's a big price tag. I said, I literally just left a shop where I paid $19.25 per dollar face value. And I said, you only have 40 cents of a dollar right here, and you're asking for $30. And so I think he realized at that moment that I was more familiar with what I was doing than most people. So he's like, well, no big deal. He's like, maybe I'll have something in the future. You can come back. And I said, yeah, maybe I can come back, because that was ridiculous. But yeah, so boom, that's my little tale there of getting some of this stuff. That place also, that last place had some silver rounds, and he wanted $30 for it. Now, I'm sure I could have talked them down a little bit, but if they're at $30, I'm not going to be able to talk them down to close to spot by any means. There's no way it's going to happen. Even if I took I think the guy had like 15 or 20 rounds total. I'm still not going to get a good deal. I can easily find silver right now, silver rounds for a few bucks over spot. No problem. Even online, even going to internet websites, which you would think that from local places you could find better prices than the internet, but right now that's just not true. Now in junk silver, I definitely scored. In my opinion, I don't love paying $19.25 per dollar face value for junk silver. I don't love it at all. But this is the times. This is what we're doing right now. It's not, 5, 6, 7 years ago where I was paying, $10, $11, $12 per dollar face value. That time is gone. Now I'm paying big boy prices. And, it is what it is. Now, I did get these from a pawn shop, and I have a little device right here that Should help me. Little Sigma Metalytics. Now, what I did when I left that pawn shop is because I just don't trust pawn shops at all. I definitely looked over them as much as I could, but I also kind of wanted to run out of that shop pretty quickly. I did a little ping test when I got back to the vehicle just to make sure that things were on the up and up, you know, right there. But we can go ahead and put them on the Sigma just for fun. Nothing seemed fake to me. If something's fake, it's going to be known to me right at this very moment, but it seemed like all very legit. The ping sounded very good, but we'll use the Sigma as another test because why not? The JFKs all looked very, very nice. So, you know, the everything else, the walkers, just were basically how you just normally see them. The Franklins, about normally how you see them. Nothing special. So everything's coming up in the bars, so far so good. What if something's fake, huh? What if old Spegtacular had the wool pulled over his eyes right there and the pawn shop actually won? What if these are the next, I don't know, what, 15 are all fake? What if? What if? I feel pretty confident, though. I got an early one. It was a 1917 Walker. That was pretty cool. I looked for the obverse mint mark. Not on that one, though. Not on that one. I love those obverse mint mark walkers. Those things are so cool, aren't they? And no, we're still good. Still good. This is a very pretty JFK. Look at this. Look at this Kennedy right here. Look at the toning. Very, very dark toning. I want to show this one off real quick. Dark toning. Looks very pretty. Right? Still has some nice luster to it. But that toning is just fantastic. I mean, not a special coin, not worth anything really that much, but I just love the look of it, man. This is the kind of coin that I love to see. I know. You're probably just like, dude, it's just so regular, spectacular. It's no big deal. But to me, I mean, the whole thing was a win. I was pretty happy with everything. Again, another nice condition JFK. Let's see, what do we got here? Listen, I wear gloves when I handle my junk silver. That's what I do. Hate me for it all you want. You know, say that I don't need to. I don't care what you tell me because this is my stuff right now, man. I bought this. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to do with it what I want. If I want to wear gloves, I want to wear gloves. And that's what I'm going to do. There's the 1917. I could have swore that lady had a 1920. But I guess I must have mistaken that for the 1940 Walker. I thought I saw a 1920 Walker. Not that that would have been a big deal either, but I like to see those earlier dates. I mean, it's kind of just a personal thing for me. I don't know. I looked for any key dates. Nothing key at all. Nothing special. But it was still a good find, I think, from a pawn shop. According to Sigma, according to the ping test too, they were all legit. Bada bing, bada boom. Today, the gloves are off. I win. I think, my opinion. Tell me down below in the comments if you think so too. Tell me what you're finding out there. I saw on Instagram just today, and I'm going to post this the next day, I think, after I ended up going on this hunt. I'm going to post it for the next day. But today, as I'm posting, I saw a post on Instagram, and a guy was saying, hey, selling junk silver halves for $26 times dollar face value. So I saw that before I even went out on the hunt, and I was thinking, man, if I have to go out there and find half dollars close to that price, I'm just not buying them. I'm just not messing with it. And then, so the first place I go, I found this right here. And then that was it, to be truthful. I mean, I didn't find anything else for the rest of the day from pawn shops. That was my win. I'll take it, though. That was cool. And, you know, I felt good about myself. Anyways, tell me your stories down below, how you're doing out there. If it's still a struggle, if you're finding some wins here and there, I hope that you are. I got to go for now, though. Spegtacular with my gloves. Can't see nothing about it. I'm keeping them on. Well, I'm keeping them here in my office. Spegtacular is out.